Hello and welcome to this new type of video I'm going to be doing. I'm a big fan of Rocket League. I know I don't I haven't put any games on my channel here, but I'm a big fan of Rocket League. I love playing it, and I am an RLCS dork. I do love watching it. I've yet to go see any of the matches or any of the events in person, but I'm hoping this year they do something nearby so I get to go see it. But I thought something that would be fun that I've seen other streamers and content creators in the Rocket League space do is make prediction charts. And since I'm NA for North America, I figured let me make a prediction chart and then we'll see how accurate I am compared to the other top Rocket League talent. And I think it could be fun to do some sort of tournament or some challenge or bet or something. So I don't know. I don't have any punishments in mind or anything if I get certain things wrong, but the main idea is just to have fun making the chart. So I think we'll just take it piece by piece. So for Group A, the expected matchup. Oh yeah, let me also shout out Cody VRL is the one that builds these. You've probably seen them before if you're into RLCS stuff. And so he's definitely a guy to follow. I'm not logged in right now, but that is something you should do. And he makes these charts. You just have to click the link in his profile and then copy it over if you want to make your own charts. So the upper quarterfinals or the quarterfinals here are best of 5. And so I think really the main surprise is NRG being 8th place basically after the Swiss stage, which was pretty shocking to someone like me who is a big fan of the NRG roster. As a reminder, that is the former G2 roster, and I tried to keep everything on the screen here. Where's NRG at and why am I there it is. Literally just needed to see the R and G. That's Atomic Beast Mode Daniel's my favorite player, so I have extreme biases towards him. And as a spoiler, I often pick him to win no matter what the competition is, whether it's 2v2 or 3v3 Rocket League. It will be interesting to look at how the 1v1 series goes, but without further ado, it's this NRG squad, which is arguably the best team in the NA group, versus Gen G, which is Reddles, Magic Bear, and Cheese. What were they last year? Oh, I'm spacing right now. I know they had an org. I'm forgetting it right now. I bet if I look up Reddles, it'll show what one he was N before. They were... Wait, why is this stuff so outdated? Luminosity Gaming. Sorry. Took me a second there. I'm not always the fastest with this stuff. So you have the hottest team from the Swiss stage, Gen G, because they only dropped one game. I mean, that's awesome. And then you have NRG, who kind of, for lack of a better term, I'm going to be tough on NRG because I am an NRG fanboy and I want them to do well. NRG kind of trolled their way through it, and they lost to Deleted. They lost to Strictly Business, which is, I believe, an import team. Let me double check. Sorry, I don't have the best memory when it comes to who's who. Yeah, Crispy, Ixo, and Simus. That's an import team from EU that's competing in NA. So they lost to them, and it's not like a close loss, 3-1. That's not good. Obviously they beat the Pioneers, but NRG definitely showed some major red flags. So I think realistically, this is a tough matchup. You have a team that's came in really hot versus a team that came in really cold. And the question is, NRG, are these guys going to lock in and bring their A game, or are they going to come in super cold and immediately drop and then have to work their way through the lowers all the way up to the top, because everyone knows how good this roster is. Arguably the most talented roster in NA, and the most of the active rosters, the most achievements of any team. But for some reason, they just came out and looked they just really didn't look good, honestly. And it's easy for me to say because I'm just commentating on them. I want them to go out and dominate everybody, but that's just because I'm biased towards the team. I think all the 3 players are fantastic. So long story short, NRG crushes Gen G. We've seen these guys have matched up so many times. These rosters, I should say. NRG knows the Gen G play style. They know how Reddles likes to play. I think it's a 3-1, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 3-0. And there's no hate on Gen G. They came out super strong, did great, but they just didn't. When it comes to history of these matches, because these teams did not play each other, so all we know is they played the same deleted team, and NRG lost to them, and Gen G beat them. So by that logic, Gen G's better. But I think just due to history of the rosters, I think NRG pulls this one out, and I don't think it's that close, honestly. That's probably one of my hotter takes, but it's not that hot of a take because NRG was the favorite for NA going into this season. So then we look at Strictly Biz versus Space Station Gaming, and those teams are comprised of the imports, Crispy, Ixo, and Simos. Sorry if I'm saying any of the names incorrectly there. And then Space Station, Frosty, Scribbles. Does he go by Scribbles or Scrabbles? Probably Scribbles, right? And then Reveal. And this is a very talented team. I believe they're all really young too. I think they're all like 14, 15, 16 years old, in that range. And super talented. Exciting that they got picked up by Space Station. I think that's really cool for them, and they should be very proud of that. I think based on how Strictly Biz did versus how Space Station did, you can see they're right next to each other. Strictly Biz beat them in Swiss, and so I think it's very fair to assume they're going to beat them again within a week. I don't know if Space Station's going to make the corrections. I do think it's going to be closer than 3-0, but I think realistically Strictly Biz is actually going to beat this team, and I think it's for the better because I think Space Station Gaming, this roster, is the future of NA. So I have high hopes for them, but I think they get swept again, or not swept. I think they get 3-1'd by Strictly Biz, and it's no shade to them. I think they're a great roster. I would not be surprised if they beat Strictly Biz, like if they came back with a specific plan based on the replays they watched of that first match. But that's kind of my thinking. Short time matches where it got 3-0'd versus, and what were the game scores? Does it say here? Looks like it's not gonna show here. Maybe there is a way to do it. I just don't know. And you just kind of look at it and you're like, okay, I don't expect this team to magically win in the other direction when they got 3-0'd. But maybe that's faulty logic because my future picks. So now we've got Omelette versus Gas. Omelette is the team of Lion Blaze, Percy, and Zanil. And Gas is going to be Garrett G, AJ, and Squishy, I believe. Yes. So kind of what we would call the old guard of the RLCS and NA. A lot of talent on this squad, obviously. So the question is, can this team that might be a little bit hungrier, that has a coach, come together and do it? And I don't believe they played, right? Omelette and Gas, right? Yeah. Omelette did not play Gas. Correct. So they haven't played yet. I think Omelette takes this one. I think they're going to come in a little bit more organized, but there's also the factor of these guys are awesome and they're playing without much to lose. So I think this is a close game. I think this is a 3-2. And I wouldn't be surprised if Gas comes out and wins the first 2 games and then loses that gets reverse swept, because Omelette will kind of catch on and adjust as needed. I think this is a very strong team defensively. So they just have to have a couple team plays, get those goals. I think it's going to be a lot of games, so they win by 1 point, maybe even some overtime. Deleted versus Worstelstand. Another one where, sorry if I didn't quite say that right. Deleted is Andy, Gyro, and Wavy. I'm a big fan of Wavy. I'm also just a big fan of 1v1 people, and Wavy is like one of the great NA players right now. So I think this roster is going to be super fun to watch. They also pulled the upset on NRG and sent NRG kind of in Swiss to gave them their first loss there, which was pretty encouraging. So I think Deleted came out super strong. And then Worstelstand is a EU import. Oh, I guess 2/3 EU. You've got Hazo, Jazzy, and Zai. Sorry, no disrespect meaning by the incorrect naming pronunciations. And how did they do? How did Worsland do? They won one. They lost to the Ultimates. They won one. They lost to 9 Lives. So they lost to good teams. I think based on them just losing to good teams, this is going to be a 3-1. And I think Deleted takes it. Just because I think Deleted has the capacity to come out super hot and stay on top of those wins. Let's go over and do Group B then. And I'm going to try to go a little bit faster. I'm definitely yapping here. The Ultimates, which are First Killer, Chronic, and LJ, super solid team. Many people, especially after NRG came out so poorly for their results, are going to look at this team as the leaders of NA and the saviors of the NA region when it comes to these international events. Because if NRG can't figure their stuff out, the Ultimates need to peak. Otherwise, our region's in a lot of trouble. And I say our region, I mean NA. So First Killer, Chronic, LJ, coached by Sad Jr., and then Tech, which is Calm, Evo, and Talk. I think they were going by the name Talk too before they switched it up, and I think them switching up was a good idea. Very solid team. Calm has a lot of history against these players, First Killer, Chronic, and LJ. Evo and Talk are super fun to watch players. But I don't see them beating First Killer, Chronic, and LJ, and I think this Ultimates team is going to be super boosted by the fact that NRG is struggling, and they're going to be playing super confident, I think, and they're going to come out, and I think they're going to 3-0 these guys. No offense to Tech. Shopify Rebellion versus Pirates on a Boat. Rebellion, of course, is the iconic Justin plus Parth and 2-piece, which is kind of like the team formula of one player who's proven how good he is and he can be at the top of his game, and then 2 relatively newer players, I think is how I would describe that. And it's pretty cool too, because I think Parth and 2-piece are super fun to watch. They hit a lot of really awesome shots if you watch their replays. And Pirates on a Boat is 5-Up, Creams, and Hockey. I like watching 5-Up play as well. I think he's awesome, but I think Rebellion loses 1 and then wins 3 straight. I think Rebellion, to me, is kind of a slower starting team. They don't always come out super hot. And so I think we're going to see this matchup. Complexity, which is Razebull, CRR, and Diaz. Diaz, obviously a huge fan of what he's doing in 1v1. Could be made an argument that he's the best 1v1 player in the world right now, which I think is why it's so exciting to go look at. The RLCS 1v1 is going to be so fun to watch as a fan, to watch Diaz play on low ping with some of the other top players like Nas in EU and Nupo and all of those, I guess, people who like top 5 1v1 talent. And Diaz is definitely up there. He's definitely the king of NA. I believe he recently won Salt Mine, which was a big 1v1 tournament. And so, that being said, 1v1 success does not translate to 3v3 success. There's a lot of really talented 1v1 players, and they don't always fit. 3v3 is just a different game, and 2v2 is a different game. These different game modes at this highest level have very minor adjustments that totally change it. Almost Nuts is Repeat, T. Carell, and Skippy. I think these guys get 3-0'd by Complexity. No disrespect again. I just feel like we're not going to see so many game 5s in the early rounds. And you can see Almost Nuts did good, but Complexity went and did better. Granted, I think they played easier teams. You can see their score being -3 means I believe that means they had one of the easier schedules versus some of these, but maybe I should look that up before I say that. 9 Lives and Team Evo. Let's see. 9 Lives is Chicago, Hoxer, Kofer. I'm a big fan of Hoxer. I thought Hoxer, LJ, Chicago was a super cool roster. Last year, I believe that's who Space Station Gaming was. I could be wrong about that. I believe that's that they played for SSG. And I thought that team was super fun to watch, but obviously they didn't do as good as they wanted to, so that's why they split up. LJ went over to the Ultimates, and these guys picked up Kofer, who's kind of up-and-coming talent as far as I understand. I think he's pretty young still. And so these guys, Chicago's super solid, super high floor. Like, no offense to him, but like his peak is probably, it's up there, but like his floor is super high. So like, he's always going to be bringing quality to the match. And Hoxer has a super high peak. I think Kofer can peak really hard too. And they're versus Team Evo, which is EU import of Speed, Relating Wave, and Arju. How do these guys do in the Swiss? 9 Lives and Evo. These teams I admittedly don't know as much about. So 9 Lives went to and then lost to Omelette and there, whereas did I lose? Almost Nuts lost to Genji, beat KC, lost to Deleted. This one I think has the potential to be a 2-2 going to game 5. So I think I'm going to give the edge to 9 Lives. I naturally favor the NA teams, obviously, I guess, here, minus Complexity. But I think this roster has the answer to this Team Evo's offense. So where's that put us? Probably no super surprising picks. Do we need to do the lowers next, or should we do the uppers? I guess maybe we do the next uppers, right? So Group A, upper semifinals, NRG, Strictly Biz. As a reminder, Strictly Biz is Crispy, Ixo, Samas. NRG, I think, is going to be rolling at this point. I give them a 3-0. If they get beat by Genji, then I don't know ball, and I'll need to make an apology video. Omelette versus Deleted. Omelette, Lion Blaze, Percy, Zanil. Deleted, Wavy, Gyro, Andy. This is kind of an interesting game. To me, it's kind of like, is Deleted Gaming's offense going to be good enough to get over the strong defense of Omelette? And if you feel differently, let me know. But I feel like Omelette's skill set is very defensive. So if Deleted Gaming comes out and scores some good goals, like Wavy, if you can isolate him to have him do any one-on-ones, or he can lead the play and set up, take 2 players out, and then it becomes a 2v1 with Gyro and Andy to score the goal. I feel like I like Deleted here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a closer series. So that puts Energy and Deleted in the upper bracket final. Ultimates versus Rebellion. I think Ultimates are coming in and they're going to dominate these guys. Rebellion definitely has the ability to beat the Ultimates, the technical ability. And it's very possible they engineer a strategy to beat Ultimates because they, I think, are going to have pretty high confidence that if they beat Pirates, they're going to have to play the Ultimates. But I think the Ultimates are just too hot right now, and I don't think Shopify's peak is going to meet the Ultimates floor, if that makes sense. Like, the Ultimates have such a high standard of play. I don't think we're going to see Rebellion be able to overcome that, and I don't think they're going to get any games on the Ultimates. Would be interested to be proven wrong, though. Complexity is a team I'm very optimistic about. Raisable, CRR, Diaz, super strong combo. A lot of interesting experience between these three. And then 9 Lives is Chicago Hawks or Kofor. It's kind of like if Complexity comes out and if both of these teams play their A game, I like Complexity over 9 Lives. And so I'm going to assume they're going to play their A game. And I'm going to assume it's going to be a lot closer. Let's go to... I guess let me just do the whole upper bracket. NRG Deleted. This is a rematch. Deleted had the key to beat NRG the first time. I have a lot of faith in the coach of NRG. Sathu is going to be constructing a very smart game plan, and I believe that Atomic, Beast Mode, and Daniel are probably the best team at executing a game plan, or one of the top 3 teams in the world at executing game plans that their coach draws up. Like, they're just going to hit the plays. They're not going to miss the ball. They're going to do the infield passes. They're going to hit the demos when they need to hit the demos. So I think Energy brings the boom in 3-1s Deleted. Okay. Ultimates versus Complexity. This will be a super fun match. Would love to watch it happen. And did they play in the Swiss? No, they did not. They were in different groups. So I've been very hot on the Ultimates here. I bet what happens is Complexity comes out and wins 1, and then the Ultimates win 3. And I'm very high on this Ultimate squad. I think they have that. One thing I didn't mention, because First Killer is often picked as like people's favorite player, and LJ, I hear a lot of hype online about people loving LJ. Chronic's peak, like when he peaks super hard, I think he is a top 5 player in the world. Like his peak, like the absolute best he can play, I think is amongst the best. To me, it's kind of like when Atto peaks, or there's certain players when they're peaking, like their floor is a little bit lower than I think the S tier pros or the A tier pros. Their floor is a little bit lower. Like when Chronic has a bad day, his team does not win. But when Chronic has a great day, I think his team's like almost unstoppable. And I have a lot of hope for him that he'll come out super hot in this type of format, and that these guys are going to absolutely do amazing. But if Chronic doesn't bring his best self, I think Complexity beats Ultimates in that case. So put an asterisk on that one. Now let's do the lower to see who qualifies here. So Gen G versus Space Station. You've got Reddles Magic Bear Cheese versus Frosty Scribbles Reveal. I think I'm a fan of Reddles. I think his playstyle is probably very frustrating to play against for me as a champ player. When I see a team that has good demos and good ability to clear that defense as the other 2 players come through, like a first man that can go through, set up okay ball control, but really clears the field, it's probably such a frustrating style to play against at a high level. And I think Retals is going to get under the skin of the younger Space Station Gaming team, and I think they are going to 3-1 these guys. Garrett G, AJ, Squishy Muffins versus Wurstelstand. Wurstelstand, as a reminder, is Hazo, Jazzy, and Sai. I think this one's a toss-up for me, because you're going with proven talent versus strong performance. And how did Wurstelstand do in their Swiss? Let me look at that real quick. So they were a team that didn't beat the super high teams. I think they 3-2 these guys. I think they go 2-2, and then the difference of Wurstelstand having a coach who is looking at the game objectively and says change this, this, and that, I think is the edge in that case. So that takes to lower semifinals. Omelette versus Gen G. Omelette is Lion Blaze, Percy Zanil. Gen G is Rettles Magic Bear Cheese. I think the defensive style of Omelette is going to suffocate Gen G, and I think this is going to be a heartbreak for the Gen G team. Probably Game 5 overtime loss for Gen G. And I think Omelette just has that solid defensive style where they're not going to get scored on so much. I keep harping on that, but that's really the characteristic I think of when I think of their team. Strictly Biz, Wurstelstand. This is the two EU imports, or two of the EU imports fighting each other. I think Strictly Biz is the better team here, and I think they 3-1 them. I'll just keep going. Omelette and Strictly Biz. I think both of these teams qualify, right? This is just for seeding. I think that Strictly Biz actually beats them, and being an NA fan, I don't want to pick EU teams over NA teams, and I say EU because they're EU based and then they came to the NA to compete. But I think we have to predict some level of getting embarrassed as NA fans. And so I think Strictly Biz beats Omelette to get the better seed here. Okay. Tech versus Pirates. Com Evo Talk versus Pirates on a boat. 5-Up Creams Hockey. I think Tech actually, sorry. Tech wins this one, and I think it's not super close. Almost Nuts versus Team Evo. Repeat T. Corral Skippy versus Speed Relating Wave Arju. This one I think is going to be close, but I do think Evo has the better package of players right there than Almost Nuts do. And I would love to be proven wrong, but I think we do see another EU lower semifinals run from these guys. So then 9 Lives, Chicago Hawks or Kofor versus Tech. I think the floor of 9 Lives is just too high, and I think they 3-0 these guys. Bit of a aggressive take. It's easy to give them a 3-1 or a 3-2. I think 9 Lives comes out hot. I think they come out hot after a bit of a heartbreaking loss against Complexity. That's my prediction. Rebellion versus Team Evo. That's going to be Rebellion's going to be the former Shopify Rebellion team. Parth, 2-Piece, Justin, and then Speed Relating Wave Arju. I think Rebellion gets their get back, and I think it's not super close. I think this Rebellion team, after they warm up and have a couple games, Parth 2-Piece, nerves settle down a little bit, I think they will go and beat Team Evo in the lower bracket, which then puts 9 Lives versus Rebellion, 9 Lives being Chicago Hawks or Kofor, Rebellion being Parth 2-Piece Justin. I think they sneak this one out, and I think Rebellion comes out on top. So, how does that look for our bracket here? We've got the upper quarterfinals. Let's do that first, and then the lower round. Or maybe we do the lower round first. Go left to right. Strictly Biz versus 9 Lives, Crispy, Ixo, Simus, 9 Lives, Chicago Hawks, or Kofer. Strictly Business is the team I'm kind of going with as the one that's going to quote-unquote expose NA. So I think this will be close, but I don't think it'll be too close. 4-2. Omelet versus Rebellion. I think Rebellion is the type to have the game plan to open up the defense, or open up Omelet's defense and score on them. So I'm going to put this one also as a larger game win. 4-2 and then 4-1. Now we've got Energy Complexity. I think that Energy versus Complexity. I think Complexity comes out, wins 2 straight, and then Energy wins 4 in a row. I think that is a good prediction, and that will be a fun match to watch. But I think the Swarm style of NRG, where it's like consistent offense, where, you know, Beast Mode comes up, beats one, gets a hit off the back wall or hit off the ceiling. Daniel comes in, gets the midfield touch, bumps the second man or third man, and then Atomic just slots it in the perfect corner. So the rotating first man that rotates back to third position for Complexity just can't deal with it. And I think that style is just so suffocating. And I think NRG is probably the best in the world at that style, up there with the Falcons team, I think, as far as just suffocating offense of just revolving door, shot after shot after shot after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after boost steal after boost steal after boost steal. I think that is going to be easily NRG's win style, and I think Complexity is going to get smothered in that style of offense. Ultimates versus Deleted. We've got First Killer, Chronic, LJ, Wavy, Gyro, Andy. I think this is the first one where we're going to see Ultimates look a little bit human. But I think at the end of the day, they are still the ultimate. So corny, so bad. And I think Deleted pulls 1, maybe 2 games off of them, and I think the Ultimates just continue their domination streak. Obviously, you can see where this is heading. Now, Complexity versus Strictly Biz. These are non-American teams competing in NA, which is fun and good. Well, I guess Complexity is playing out of Dallas, but they're technically South American by nationality. But they're competing out of Dallas, and then Strictly Biz was the team I said, I think this is where Complexity shows that they belong. I think Complexity shows that they belong at the table, and I think Strictly Biz fizzles out here. And I think not having a coach with them is going to eventually create rifts, and the teams that are coached deeper in these series are going to watch the replays and say, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what we're going to do differently. And that level of a micro adjustment makes a huge difference in a series. Deleted versus Rebellion. Andy, Gyro, Wavy versus Parth, 2-piece, Justin. I like Deleted here. I like Deleted here a lot. I think Rebellion has the capability to beat Deleted. I think a lot of people would pick Rebellion over Deleted. But based on how their Swiss performance goes, I think they're going to make top 4 here. And so that leaves my final 4 as Ultimates, Complexity, Energy, and Deleted. So as you can see, my prediction is none of the EU teams make the semifinals. They don't make top 4. If they do, I think we need to come up with a punishment for me. Perhaps I could salute their... Perhaps I could learn some of their national anthem or something. I don't know. We need some sort of humiliation ritual, I think. Because in NA, we need the NA teams to win NA. Otherwise, that is very tragic for our region and is tough to defend as a fan. So Ultimates versus Complexity. First Killer Chronic LJ, Complexity Raisable CRR Diaz. I think, did I have these guys playing before? Yes, I have Ultimates 3 wanting them before. I think it's going to be closer. And I think Complexity has the potential of winning here. And I think we do go 3-3. It's too tempting. I have to pick Ultimates. I just think they're playing too good. They're coming out too hot. And they're definitely playing confident Rocket League. And I think we're going to see them do that well. Now we have NRG versus Deleted. I think NRG revenge game to Deleted. I think at this point in the tournament, NRG is fully rolling. They are playing their A game and they are doing good. That leaves Ultimates versus NRG. I know, super original. Super original. If any other teams make this grand final, congrats to them. The reality is, for NA, Ultimates and NRG are basically considered like top two, like lock-ins, basically. And I'm open to hearing any disagreements about that, but or any other points of view about that, but I don't think any team below that is. They're all close, and these teams are very beatable, obviously, especially NRG. I mean, look at how their Swiss went. But I just don't think. I don't think that the Ultimates are going to slow down here. And as much as it hurts me to say this, I think the NRG guys need to experience a humbling loss in the grand final to lock in and play their best game. I'm an NRG fan. I'm a Daniel fan. Daniel's my favorite player, like I said at the beginning. I think based on the Rocket League we've seen so far in the last couple months, Ultimates are going to beat NRG. And I think Ultimates are going to come out hot. I think they're going to win 2. I think NRG is going to win 2. I think Ultimates will call the timeout. And then I think Ultimates will win the last 2 of the games and win the tournament 4-2. So where's that put our rankings here? Ultimates, NRG, Complexity, Deleted, Strictly Biz, Rebellion, 9 Lives, Omelette, Tech, Genji, Wurstel Stand, Team Evo, Space Station, Gas, Pirates, Almost Nuts. I don't think I have too many super controversial picks. And my heart wants to pick NRG. But based on the Rocket League I've seen so far, I don't think we can. I would love to be proven wrong. So yeah, that's my prediction. Let me know where you think I totally missed the mark or what you thought of this video. I'm going to post it like pretty much completely unedited. And then hopefully my intention is next week after we've watched these games to come back and revisit this video and basically just do a review of how I did compared to the actual results. And it'll be fun to see what takes I got really wrong and what takes I got really right. And I wouldn't say I'm very prideful when it comes to these things. Like if I'm wrong, I'm happy to admit I'm wrong. And so I'm excited for Rocket League, for NA. I think the depth is I think there's actually a lot of depth in NA, and I think the team you could potentially see break out this year is Gen G, because that's the younger roster of people we expect to do super well. But yeah, hope they do better. I hope they, beat these EU teams out and score above them. But yeah, my final pick is Ultimates to win, NRG heartbreaking second place, but showing progression from their first Swiss results, and then the rest of the field there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day and enjoy the Rocket League that we're going to witness this weekend. And when we review this together, should be interesting. Thank you and have a great night.